adrenaline in my soul. Oh no, I'm now not in the main event because I'm Cody Rhodes. That's what we're talking about today, everybody, here on BunkaMania Wrestling. Welcome to the show. If you are a first-time viewer and or listener, thank you so much for giving us a chance. We hope you enjoy the show. No matter where you found us, make sure on your podcast provider of choice or on YouTube, if you do enjoy the show, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And if you feel so inclined, hit a like, leave us a comment, whichever you prefer. I am Jeremy Graves, and joining me, we've got the full troupe, if you will, of people to start discussing the Cody Rhodes saga. It's almost going to be like a Star Wars epic at this point, at the rate it's going. I am, of course, joined by the captain of the ship, the Dekker Dane, Mr. Ian Bolton. Good sir, how are you doing today?
I'm all right. I am still kind of slightly recovering from a bit of a cold thing I picked up from Barcelona. So basically, it's like I feel fine, but I might have the occasional coffee fit. So if I go mute or you see me kind of disappear for a moment, that's probably the reason why. But no, I'm doing okay. There you go, first cough. I'm doing okay. Yeah, it's just been a weird couple of days. It's getting weirder.
Days, waking a bit. I don't know. I've been out of the country for a few days, Jeremy. I go away and all this shit happens. Some might say you being abroad caused the Cody stuff to happen.
Well, they're lies.
There you go. I thought I'd ask and make sure. Also joining us, of course, is Harriett Manga Girl. Harriett, how are you doing today?
Yeah, good. It has been a very weird month.
Hasn't it just?
Oh god, it's like
it's only been 7 days. It's only been 7 days, Harriet. It's been a well, hang on. Good point. No, I stand corrected.
So context, we're recording this on the 7th of February for context. Just a little bit.
I just remembered all this winter's happened on the 2nd. It's like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
I left when it was January. I came back in February.
It's just been, well, I tell you something, it's been here, there, and everywhere. I'm like, calm down, please stop.
There you go. And of course, making his triumphant return following an epic appearance on our last podcast, it is, of course, MattyBoo. Good sir, how are you doing today?
Do you know what, Jeremy? You know what? See, I remember when Cody Rhodes single-handedly defeated racism, and how he defeated racism was beating an Englishman, and he was hated for it. Absolutely. Did everyone remember when Cody Rhodes was like the ultimate heel and he was deluded? It was a totally deluded babyface. Do you know what? No, I digress. Maybe, Jeremy, maybe we, the people, are the problem. Maybe we, the fans, maybe we, the people, need a champion we can rely on. No, it's just crap booking, mate. Anyway, yeah, I'm fine.
Hang on, can I bring in the good old fashioned catchphrase of it's stupid bollocks? There we go.
Silly bollocks.
Silly bollocks. Silly stupid bollocks. Booking bollocks. I don't know.
Is that the next level? Silly stupid bollocks.
You've added one more word to it.
Just after bollocks. Just after bollocks. There you go.
Can I also say, as this is now my second episode of BunkaMania, that literally within the span of a week, can wrestling please calm the fuck down? I was supposed to be broken back into content creation gently, but geez, no, I'm just going all in with no lube.
Oh, hang on. Breaking news from Dekker Dane.
Matty, I've just got the word from wrestling, and wrestling says, no, shut up.
Yes, boss.
And you know what, actually, but before we get onto our primary topic of today, which is going to be about the whole Cody Rhodes malark that's going on in the WrestleMania main event, as mentioned, we are recording this on the evening of Wednesday, the 7th of February. At the time we're recording, some news has actually broken within the last hour, which we're going to touch on briefly for a few moments. And that is that the now renamed TNA Wrestling, now formerly Impact Wrestling, now TNA Wrestling presents Impact once again. Their parent company, Anthem Entertainment, have fired the head honcho, Scott D'Amore, are replacing it with someone who is internal at Anthem. I don't remember their name off the top of my head.
I will tell you in 2 secs, but carry on.
Cool. But either way, the big crux of the news is Scott D'Amore is no longer with TNA, someone who has been with the company for a heck of a long time, if not the majority of TNA's lifespan, quite frankly, be it as Impact and whatnot, had really taken TNA to new heights, had got loads of people in, developed talent, loves bringing in and developing talent and whatnot. Genuinely, by all accounts, a fantastic person as well. And actually, as a human being, they are fantastic. So the fact that Scott D'Amore has been let go by TNA, I don't know necessarily this is like it's only coming out today, as it were, and the news and maybe it actually happened a day or two ago. I might try and look into it as we're going along. But from my perspective, really quite shocking. I'm not sure how familiar all of you are with Scott D'Amore and perhaps the recent years of TNA and such. But either way, big decision by Anthem, to say the least. Matty, I shall let you begin.
Just to let you know that the new TNA president is Anthem's president of entertainment. I might butcher this because it's an Italian name or a Greek name. I can't remember. Don't know what. Anthony Ciccione. It's Cicione, but he's the president of entertainment for Anthem. He is the new TNA president going forward. Yeah, Scott D'Amore is a hell of a hand. Absolute hell of a hand. It's not his first departure from TNA, as we know. He left previously. But talk about a guy who just gets wrestling. I mean, he was basically jobber to the stars. He did things like WCW and WWE as an enhancement talent. Eventually, he became a manager. He was head honcho behind Team Canada. And the talent pool behind Team Canada alone came back with Don Callis a few years ago. And I gotta say, when they came in, like, I don't even know what the name of the promotion was at this point. It may have been still Global Force Wrestling for all of a brief.
It was either that or it was transitioning back to Impact Wrestling, as it were. It was around that time period. And this was, for timeline context as well, him and Don Callis came in, and this was before Callis then came over to AEW to do the Omega stuff during the lockdown era and whatnot. Yeah. So this is kind of before that.
It was a shared role between Scott D'Amore and Don Callis. And between the two of them, I'm sorry, but we had Impact written off. It was dead in the water. It was just floundering. And they came in and they picked it up, drained it off, and brought in such a blinking talent pool into that promotion. And gradually, it took a while, they rebuilt Rome. And they made TNA wrestling like not necessarily essential viewing, but they made TNA like a million times better than it was. And like, yeah, in general, people just don't cover TNA as much as they would like a New Japan and AEW or WWE, because try as it might, yeah, it's not even like the third promotion, but you cannot look at that breadth of talent and say that they're not worth it. And it's because of like those two, and in particular Scott D'Amore himself, for gradually building it back up. We got to the point where TNA started to become must-see viewing again. Like this month alone, like stuff happens on that can't be missed because, again, of Scott D'Amore. He brought it back to being TNA wrestling because he knew that people, when they think of Impact, they think of TNA.
It was the whole reason they changed the name back.
Yeah. And now he's gone. And I mean, I get that if you as a parent company, you want more control over your, well, basically your property, your ownership. I get that. But to sack the guy that made your property like profitable again, that just sounds like suicide. That sounds like, okay, you're going to push it back down. And I hope that's not going to be the case.
You know what it sounds like to me?
I'm very, very worried because this is not the first time Anthem have tried to take on control. And you saw what happened, and it took Scott D'Amore and Don Callis to take what Anthem did and built it back up to something that was actually respected again.
I'm going to say two words, and you might get what I'm thinking when it comes to what this sounds a little bit familiar like. Dixie Carter. So, from there, Ian or Harriet, either one of you, take your pick. Any thoughts or feelings relating to this? Harriet, how about you, first of all?
I mean, I'm not the biggest TNA fan. I'm only just starting to get into it now, so only know of the name of recent times. So, yeah, it's a shock. It's only just come back into its own. I know it's gaining popularity. Obviously, we had Jordan Grace appearing in Royal Rumble, so yeah, it's just kind of, it's weird they're doing this now, unless they're kind of doing it early off so the show can continue, but also you don't know how it's going to continue. Like Matty said, it could go either way. It could go up or down. It could stay stable, but you don't know until like a month or so. But yeah, it's just kind of very weird that they've announced this now. Literally, I think it's like, is it a month in now, the new TNA?
If that.
Literally, if that. It officially rebranded like in the first or second week of January.
Yeah.
But also, can I just also point out that they re-established relationships as well under Scott D'Amore? Like literally this past month, they signed a new agreement with AAA. You know, people didn't want to deal with TNA after a while. It became a poison chalice. And that's something else that flourished under Scott. Also, I will say, one of the most deeply respected women's division outside of Joshi Wrestling.
Correct. 100% agree.
I'm literally winding myself up even thinking about the stupidity behind this move.
Well, in an effort to allow you a second to sort of, for want of a better phrase, wind down a tad, as it were. But Mr. Dekker Dane, any thoughts from your perspective on this? What's your take?
Well, again, I'm not too kind of versed in the world of TNA. Again, just like Harriet, interest is building there now because obviously the rebrand, talent featured in the Rumble, former WWE talent now featured in TNA, Nick Nemeth, for example, and stuff like that. So it's like TNA seemed to be the brand that was having a fire lit under it and starting to really kind of move forward, propel itself into like some sort of a new era, and it feels very weird. The move's very weird. It feels like you've gone we're away and you've just taken the captain out of the ship. It's basically it's like oh we're off on an adventure. Nope. Let's see how the ship goes now. It seems weird. And hearing and it's kind of like reading news reports about not about the firing, but just about Scott D'Amore in general, in terms of how he kind of works with talent, in terms of how he's building relationships and stuff like that. It seems very weird to get rid of someone who seems to be fostering some very good business relationships, even a good business relationship with WWE to bring in Jordan Grace for the Rumble, all that sort of stuff. Something's very weird, and it just seems very bizarre.
I just remember something else as well. Something we like hell literally froze over when they announced they had a working relationship again with New Japan.
Yeah, I was going to mention that as well. Yep.
Yeah. Because, again, that was under Scott and Don.
And simultaneously, ultimately, with New Japan being an AEW partner as well, as it was. A very unique situation, but either way, like we say, the Scott D'Amore news very much broke within the last hour of us hitting the record button. So that's kind of all we know about so far. There are some TNA wrestlers just kind of posting some thoughts and feelings on it and starting to share some messages. So perhaps expect to see more of those by the time you folks are listening to and or watching this. So from there, why don't we move on to the main event discussion topic for today? Haha, see what I did there? It was awful, I know. Because we are going to talk about the Cody Rhodes situation. Now, I will say now, folks, if you want to skip forward in terms of timestamps and stuff, we are going to try and put some timestamps in our discussion in the description and such. So we are going to begin with what I'm going to call a brief recap as to what the heck has happened over the last week, because we need to just provide some context as to where we've been and where we're now at, so we can then talk about various points as we see fit. So, buckle up for Jeremy's recap of the past week. What on earth is going to happen? So, Cody wins the Rumble. Yay! Everyone's happy. He points at Roman. He looks mean at Roman. Roman is like, grrg, oh no. And that is how the show goes off the air. We go to the next night on Raw. Seth Rollins decides he wants to try and convince Cody that no, the belt I've got is the one you should have. We're the ones that work day in and day out. We're the ones that work really, really hard. Do you want to be a guy that's only here a few days a year? Or do you want to be a real new champion, as it were? Then we fast forward to Smack the Down on Friday night. Cody comes out and decides he needs to say some things to Roman. He basically interrupts Roman, who is in the ring burying the other championship belt that Seth Rollins was trying to put over the other night in quite a spectacular fashion, it should be said as well. But it leads to Cody coming out. He gets a microphone. He does the old, so Birmingham, Alabama, what do you want to talk about thing? And then proceeds to say the following, quote, Roman Reigns, what do we want to talk about? You know, I imagine this conversation a little more private, if you'll indulge me. Perhaps we can have the ring to ourselves. Solo and Jimmy then leave the ring. So I took a great deal of counsel this week, says Cody. I talked to friends, family, legends. You know, you cheated me. I had you more than anybody that you've been in the ring with. I had you, and I think you know it. Seth Rollins made a lot of amazing points this week, but one of them I disagree with. And then pointing to Paul Heyman, who is holding Roman's championship belt, he says, he called, that being Seth, called that the Hollywood title. You can call it whatever you want. That's still the title that Bruno Sammartino held. It's still the title that was put into my father's hands in Madison Square Garden and then swiftly taken away. Again, call it whatever you want. I still want that title. Let me ask you, what is finishing the story? Because I've heard you say that all of this, all of it, is yours. This ring, the canvas, the ropes, that camera, the announce desk, all these people, then pointing to the crowd, you guys belong to Roman Reigns, apparently. Is finishing the story taking that championship from you? Or is finishing the story taking everything from you? Let me make it abundantly clear. I want that title. Matter of fact, I'm moving my own goalpost. I want that title. I want everything. And I'm coming for it. I'm coming for you, Roman Reigns. But not at WrestleMania. I mentioned taking counsel. Roman, one of the individuals I talk to, he knows you very well. Then The Rock's music hits. The arena goes wild, albeit perhaps a tad confused. The arena goes wild. The Rock spends about 3.5 minutes trying to equal an Undertaker record for getting inside the ring. And then he poses, he looks at Cody, they shake hands, they quote-unquote embrace, and you can see that they have a camera angle that is just like on Cody's face. You can see The Rock is saying something to Cody, and he goes from having that look of, yep, I'll make this work, I'll keep smiling, and then there is this like, you can like click your fingers, and there's the exact moment that smile disappears. The exact moment. And then Cody leaves, and the show goes off the air with a stare down between The Rock and Roman Reigns. And that ending of SmackDown basically tells you Cody is not going to challenge Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 40. Over the weekend, there is genuine fan backlash occurring. People are up in arms. The entire segment posted on WWE's YouTube, if you use a Chrome extension, you can see the likes and dislikes on YouTube videos, which YouTube themselves removed as a feature and a thing you can see. It's the most disliked video in WWE history, I believe, or it's one of the most disliked. Then, following all this, news starts to come out over the weekend. the news that Punk being injured and WWE distancing themselves from Brock Lesnar, not going to touch on that, you more than likely know what's going on there, meant that changes were needed, i.e. Rock is in the main event. But then more news starts to come out that actually The Rock becoming a board member of TKO back in early January, i.e. before the Rumble, allegedly included as part of that agreement that he would be in the main event of WrestleMania 40. But people were still under the impression the day of the Rumble, and by account of some reports, Cody himself, that he was going to be facing Roman at WrestleMania in the main event. Hence the reason he pointed to Roman and was acknowledging, no pun intended, all the stuff relating to Roman and probably trying to finish the story. Then hashtag We Want Cody becomes a thing late Sunday throughout Monday, which of course is a very familiar thing to what we saw with Daniel Bryan, but there are now some allegations coming out, if you will, that maybe WWE is now playing into the We Want Cody thing to literally try and make Cody a martyr like Daniel Bryan was leading up to WrestleMania 30. And Raw happened last night, and Monday night, sorry, and if I'm correct, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, folks, we didn't get a specific answer that he was going to challenge Seth, but it was heavily implied that was the direction he was going to go in now.
You really couldn't make this up if you wanted to.
But Michael Cole told us explicitly that no decisions had been made yet.
Michael Cole says a lot of things.
And they acknowledged the fact that WWE was mentioned a lot over the weekend. I wonder why.
Right. So, I guess, so from there, and right. I've recapped it. I think the tone of my voice can kind of imply some of what I've thought, but I've said a lot of things. So, Ian, we should begin with you. I'm going to ask the simple question. I say simple, this won't be simple. If possible, in maximum 2 sentences, and I don't know how long your sentences may be, so make of that what you will, can you encapsulate your overall feelings on the situation that has developed with this whole Cody Rhodes main event thing?
I think one of the things you haven't, I think in terms of the news you haven't covered is like there have been reports of one of the reasons we kind of have Rock in this situation is because Rock, as a brand new TKO board member, said, hey guys. Look
at the eyebrow, guys.
Look at the eyebrow. Have a bit of my tequila. If not, there's the energy drink. It's over there as well. Have you seen Black Adam yet? It's a great film.
Oh, God.
I want to save WrestleMania because your top guys are out. You might not draw enough money. Why don't you put me in there? Just saying. Let me save WrestleMania. And the whole thing about this at the moment, it's like whoever's bloody idea this was in the first place, whether it was the board or Rock going, hey, I'll come to wrestling, but if I want board directors' seat, I want all this as well. It just comes across very, very stupid. It's kind of like a horrific own goal. It's like a lot of things were kind of on course to be like good old-fashioned home runs. You don't need to do much else. It's like you kind of thought, oh yeah, Cody and Roman. There we go. That's fine. Obviously, Punk and Rollins is happening, but again, there's a great case to argue that it's Drew McIntyre going up against Rollins, or a few more, maybe Sami Zayn and stuff like that. It's like it's fine. It's fine. The talent is like under the current creative regime. What they are doing is clearly having a good effect on ticket sales because they're doing great business on their shows. They're selling out. They're setting record gates left, right, and center. So how on earth do you translate that into going, well, that same audience isn't going to be here for Mania, and we've lost a couple of people who aren't usually here all the time. So what are we going to do? I know, we'll get the Rock in. I know it's just 2 sentences, but it's just it's.
I mean, look, there are a lot of commas, semicolons. You know,
there's commas, semicolons, lots of cogs going. It's absolutely not needed. It's at this moment in time, it's like Rock versus Roman. Yes, it's a match I want to see. This is not how you do it. You do it either on the way towards WrestleMania and Cody, or you do it after WrestleMania and Cody. Or if you want to try and save this, you do Cody Roman one night and Roman the other. I don't know. There are so many ideas to how to try to fix this. None of them repair the logical bollocks that has happened here. Because it's like
put out a t-shirt.
It's simple. It's basically one stupid promo and story beat has kind of just put a massive turd in along every other sort of storyline around this. You've made the World Championship a fucking joke. Obviously it's the runner-up prize. Of course, it's everyone who can't beat Roman Reigns fights for that one. It's just like you've buried that. You've buried practically most of the wrestlers who have failed to win the Undisputed Championship and now just vying for the World Championship. You utterly wreck a very natural storyline which everyone was getting into and actually quite happy with. It's just WWE just kind of sat there and just kind of gone. Have they just kind of gone? Well, that's a lovely storyline we thought going there. Be a shame if we fucked it up. And the only other thing, the whole Rock element to this, the thing that irks me a lot more about the Rock side of things here, is that it's the narcissism again. It's this thing that he's coming in and he's doing great things. It's the whole thing with Black Adam and DC again, where he's like, I'm going to change the hierarchy of the DC universe. I'm going to take this D-grade character and I'm going to be the top of the DC films everywhere. And it didn't work out because James Gunn ended up getting it. And now it's kind of like, you've got it here. It's like, I'm going to say WrestleMania because don't worry, I'm The Rock. People don't boo me. I think they fucking were the last couple of days, to be perfectly honest. And the last time we got booed heavily was 2015's Royal Rumble in Philadelphia, endorsing Roman Reigns. WrestleMania's in Philadelphia this year.
Oh, how serendipitous!
Oh no, not again. Sorry. I mean, I'm going off many tangents. The bottom line is, it's one of the worst self-inflicted injuries I think I've seen a wrestling company do. Or just for the sake of going, look, everyone, it's The Rock. Look, he's a big Hollywood star. It's not like he's far too controlling and has a stupid brand presence that has to be upheld. No, look, it's The Rock. It's The Rock. I'm sure he's up for a match now.
If I may say, before I pass this on to Harriet,
yeah,
it does feel very similar to Batista winning the Rumble to get to the main event of
It
Mania
does.
30, doesn't it? There's
It
a lot
does.
of parallels to Mania 30 happening here.
It does. I think the biggest thing. I mean, if they wanted to do Rock Roman this year, absolutely fine. If Cody didn't win the Rumble, and yet
That's the
Cody
key detail.
the thing that is the most infuriating aspect of this all. It's like you could have had someone else win the Rumble that wasn't Rock or Cody, and Roman can go, oh, no one's here to challenge me this Mania. Okay, and then The Rock comes back, and you go, okay, we're going to get it. Great, everything's lined up. It's a very natural and a very straightforward story beat. It makes sense. It makes sense. It might not be what everyone wants to see that year, but it makes sense, and we'll go along for the ride anyway. The whole thing of Cody winning the Rumble, is just as stupid if everyone knew this was the plan going forward in 7 days' time. Because it's kind of like, what are you going to do?
Well,
Anyway.
that is the question, isn't it? What are they going to do? But before we get on to what they might be able to do, Harriet, what's your take on this whole thing? I take it you have notes as well. A few of you got pens. I will say.
I have notes.
I have made notes, believe
The
me.
fact that two of you are holding pens right now, I'm concerned because I feel underprepared now. But
just for context, I had no notes. I just went off on my own tangents,
no,
and I got angry either way.
So
no.
Harriet, the floor is yours, as it were. Give us your thoughts on this entire shindoggery do.
I'm so confused. I'm not angry as such. It's just more like I don't know one day to the next what is going to happen. I'm hearing one thing, I'm hearing another, and then it's just like,
Are you just disappointed?
yes, very disappointed.
There we go.
There we go. That's it.
I'm glad someone said that. I was wanting to chime in as well, but I couldn't find the natural point.
There you are. And like Ian said, what was the point of Rumble? If Cody won and then literally pointed at Roman, and then a week later it's just like, do you know what? Forget it. I'm handing it to The Rock. I'm good. I'm not going to do it at WrestleMania. Even though, and I will point this out, in both Rumbles, it said winner will main event WrestleMania for the men's and the women's. So, well.
If I may, actually, just a quick random note just to add to that thought, then I'll let you continue.
Yeah.
It's very interesting that it says main event each night of WrestleMania, or effectively main event WrestleMania, because don't forget, last year, it was meant to be Rhea and Charlotte main eventing one night, but the tag title stuff was so hot, they kind of ended up having to change it to a degree. But I'm sorry, I jumped in there. Back to you.
No, I was just going to carry on. It's just like the whole about turn of everything that's happened from even Monday now, the fact that they're kind of, well, maybe we could, because, you know, it's just like, okay, I don't know what's going to happen even on SmackDown or this press event tomorrow. It's just like, oh my God, my head is sore from just like, what's going on? Also, it's terrible that it's done it at the expense of Cody, because it's kind of the story, because the story has been building up for a long time. I know people joke about it, even I joke about it, but even the fact that he's one of the main covers of the new WWE game as well, even in the trailer, he said something about finishing the story, and it's just like, oh no, oh Cody, I just want to hug you. I really do, because and also the fact you mentioned the video earlier, the most dislike, they cut that video. They cut the bit where Cody looks sad. So it just looks like he's handing it to Rock and just like, okay, bye, you know, sort of.
Revision is history.
It's like that song. No one knows what it's like to be the sad Cody. The sad Cody. The sad Cody.
Literally behind blue eyes, yeah.
There is only one person who knows how bad it is for a sad Cody, and it's that rubber chicken from last year's WrestleMania.
Oh, Jesus.
That chicken's just going to come on here. Cody, man. I'm sorry that I upstaged you at WrestleMania Night 2 last year. I just feel terrible now.
If only that rubber chicken had been on SmackDown, the whole circle would have been complete.
Oh, could you imagine?
There's someone in a costume.
He goes out with The Rock. Sorry.
No. I just thought of even something even crueler. When they just have that hug and The Rock whispers, he's just going, and Cody's just going, oh no.
It's happening
The
again.
real life chicken. Shit.
Oh my God.
What about the funny things in this?
So yeah, I don't know what's happening from day to day. I'm just it's like the whole narcissism again of DC again, of The Rock's like, I could save this. No, you can't. I mean, I have never seen social media blow up as much as it did over the weekend, especially with the hashtag We Want Cody. I think even on Raw, they were handing out signs of it, and it just overtook it all. Obviously, the chants, which they piped a lot of stuff over it, so you didn't hear it. So, yeah, I have other thoughts, but that's how I feel at the moment. It's just like, Please stop. I just want a definitive answer.
just add on the side things, because I think there's been a lot of different stories going online about this. So basically, people were going, "Oh, WWE are handing out signs about saying we want Cody."
Yeah.
That's the thing that I mentioned about allegedly. They're getting
Allegedly, yeah.
It's I think a few outlets like Fightful have said, no, it wasn't WWE. It was just the fans. The fans just came
Okay,
in.
awesome. In that case, I retract what I said earlier then.
Yeah.
Thank you for the clarification on that.
Yeah.
No, I never really thought for one moment it was like a plant in WWE just giving them out. I think it was just somebody trying to start a movement.
Like the Cesaro sections to go back.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah. But Matty, you've been waiting very patiently, and I'm sure you have much to say. So the floor is yours.
The main thing is that a lot of what I was going to say has actually been stated quite eloquently by Ian. So instead, I'm going to pivot, because this whole thing is the pivot to WrestleMania, as we all know. I'm going to rewind the time. And my overall thought over all of this is just a recurring sense of frustration. And that is what fuels this is fuss. Cody should have always won at the last WrestleMania, because we have been in a holding pattern ever since. Yeah, holding pattern. And when I state about holding pattern is, so we had Jey Uso, who's done that. We got Drew, who's done that. Everybody who's beaten them, kind of them got shunted to the side. We've had like multiple people that could have been a really good working man's champion. Cody is on top of the list, and he should have won that belt. We should have had a year of Cody defending that title, and instead we have not. What we have had is repeat, rinse, and continue matches with a man who is hardly ever here. Instead, he's going off to Devon to go look at the miniature railways. You know? Yes, I am carrying on that. He's going off to blink in. Let me see. He's going off to Munich, Germany to go and study chess. I don't know.
I want to see. I want to see this. I want to see this excursion of Roman Reigns just going. I'm the head of the table. Now I'm head of the board.
Oh. Checkmate.
Checkmate. Sorry, Matty. Carry on.
Right. Yeah. Sorry, I had to throw all that in there.
Go for it. It's all good. All good.
It genuinely frustrates me, because we have had match upon match upon match. When he's not going off to Scarborough to go look at the donkeys. I don't know if there are donkeys in Scarborough. I don't know. But I'm sure he's found some. It's a quest. It's just been the same matches. And I'm fed up of seeing the same patterned matches. I'm so fed up of it. And it shouldn't be this way. We should have had some incredible main events. And instead, all we've had is we just want Roman to lose. We just want somebody who is like... And I'm sorry, Roman has been deserving of that title 2 years ago. Not nearly 4. That's ridiculous. And I know what they've wanted to do. They want to put him up in the record books. Tinfoil hat time, and I was going to bring an actual tinfoil hat for this. If you're going to go around and you're trying to distance yourself from history because of certain people out there, you don't do it this way. You just don't. Merge the belts, create a new title, be a fresh new start, but you don't go about with this, and it just seems so bipolar that in one way you're trying to distance yourself from the past, and yet you're trying so desperately to cling on to it as much as you can by having lineages and reigns. Literal Roman Reigns' reign.
If I may, excellent parallel for the point you're making. Compare Roman's reign, that was really very difficult to say, to Gunther's reign as IC champ.
And that's another man who should be a champion, like a top-tier champion. Mm-hmm. What are we doing here?
I think you can argue to a point that Gunther as a champion is being viewed very highly by the audience and by the fans. Mm-hmm. It's very obviously it's Intercontinental Championship. It's obviously a very iconic belt or an iconic championship, and obviously Gunther's been there for now 600 days plus. as champion and so forth. And it's like the fact is, it's like he's the sort of champion you kind of would like to see Roman be. Basically, he is there. Okay, he doesn't wrestle on every show, but he's there. He's progressing feuds. He's progressing stories. He's having these mini feuds with wrestlers who are definitely deserving of a spotlight. Chad Gable, for example. You're Chad Gable, Bronson Reed. I think at the moment the next lined up opponent is Jey Uso. Whether that's at Elimination Chamber, I might not be due to visa stuff, but or WrestleMania, one of those sort of things. The fact is, basically, when you have time with Gunther, it more or less works most of the time. Heck, people started cheering for The Miz and enjoyed The Miz again for a little bit because of Gunther. I think
that's the power of Gunther.
That's the power of Gunther. Of Gunther.
If I may just add a point within that point, though, as well, a big key difference, which I have a feeling you may be sort of latching onto as well, I'm sure we can all agree, the big difference, even if you factor out the time away that Roman's having, Gunther's defenses, there is jeopardy involved where it looks like he may get beaten, but 9 times out of 10, he himself gets out of that jeopardy and gets the win, whereas Roman 99% of the time needs other people to help him get the win.
Yeah. I think I may have said it on a previous episode, but I think if Roman's defenses didn't always end, say, with interference, ref bump per se.
Get the bingo card,
and he actually goes through hell and high water to retain his championship or something like that. Or even if he did some dastardly cheating himself and no one else did. If Roman was all by himself and he survived, then okay, the reign has a little bit more credence to it. It has a little bit more legitimacy because he's able to kind of overcome it. I mean, the early days of the reign when he's taking on Daniel Bryan in that very long match on SmackDown and so forth, even Cesaro and stuff like that. The early days of the reign, he does not have the bloodline completely there, and he's overcoming people through hell or high water. He's dealing with people, and now ever since the whole bloodline faction began, it's like, okay, a couple of matches, fine, you get a bit of interference, you get that with the stable, but it's just it's the script, and it's like, and even on this past Raw, Drew pretty much spelled it out. It's like we all know the story. You get close, blood interferes, Roman wins. LOL. Moving on. That sort of stuff. I think if Reigns' reign had different match types where he won in various different methods, other than relying on Solo or the Usos or something stupid like that, we might be going, yes, it's a bit weird that he's not here all the time, but at least when he turns up, we can believe him as a champion, or we can actually understand his tenacity as a champion.
And anybody that faces off against Roman in any of these top tier matches then comes across as remarkably stupid because you know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Just to round up my thoughts and wrap it up in a neat little bow. So, say that this Roman versus Rock thing happens. Then what? Because is The Rock going to become WWE champion? Are we going to have another reign with a champion that's hardly there? What is the end point of this, apart from maybe The Rock becomes the head of the table that we all established he was anyway? There's no rhyme nor reason behind this. What this would have been an incredible match to go all the way round. Back to my point, this would have been a fantastic match which everyone would just grasp onto had Cody won at last year's WrestleMania, because then it wouldn't be about the championship. It would be who would be the dominant person on the end of that table. Is it Roman or is it Rock? That is actual fantastic storytelling. We're not going there though. And that's what's so goddamn frustrating.
Yeah.
Harriet, to turn the, I don't know why I'm saying turn the table back to you, but I am. But to turn
You're
the
ahead
table
of
back
table.
to you.
Oh God, no.
So Matty brings up an interesting point now. I think that leads on to the next logical discussion point for the moment, in that do we actually think Rock and Roman will be the headline match, or the closing match, if you will, of WrestleMania weekend. And what do we think might actually happen?
After SmackDown, it was just like, okay, yeah, this seems like it's going to be a thing. It's a main event now at WrestleMania, the way Cody sounded it. And then Monday happened, and it's just like, wait a minute, I don't know what's going to happen now. It's like you said earlier, it's like the Daniel Bryan situation from WrestleMania 30. It's just like it's happening again. But the thing is like Cody is very popular, so this is the reason why it's happening. The way I'm seeing it now, and I know people have said like night 1, night 2. I do seriously think at this point they have to have Cody in some form or another. I mean, we're gonna watch WrestleMania anyway, but it's just like I don't know which night it would be which, but both will be main events as such. So the women's, unfortunately, I don't know what will happen, but I have a feeling it will be Cody Reigns one night and then Reigns and Rock the next night. So one for the title and one for the head of the table, pretty much, I think, because Rock has indicated, when he was facing off against Jinder, like I could be the head of the table sort of thing. And it's just, yeah, that's what I'm thinking at the moment. It could change. We don't know even if Rock is facing Reigns for the title as such. They haven't really said it. Even though they have and they haven't, it's just like so confused. It's kind of the press conference will be the definitive thing. Is it? Yes, tomorrow night.
Yeah, tomorrow at the time that we're recording. Yeah,
it's in my head. Only one of 3 scenarios is going to happen. It's going to be Roman and Rock, and everyone just has to deal with it. And most likely, they'll probably hijack that main event. To be perfectly honest, because if they're very passionate fans, they will absolutely do that.
The hardest of the hardcore, if you will.
So there's that. The alternatives is the 2-nighter thing to actually allow Cody to take the belt off Roman, all that sort of stuff. The only other one is it does end up being Cody versus Roman, but The Rock is the guest referee. That's my only other thought right there. But it's just the problem is because of that promo on Friday.
Yeah.
Everything now, this is like even any of those scenarios now, it feels like a very muddied journey to WrestleMania now because we've pissed everyone off for the weekend and then gone, oh, maybe we should pivot again.
And the fact that you had Cody say, well, I'm actually not going to face you at WrestleMania. And now it's just like, well, okay, and he didn't want to face Seth either.
Yeah. So
it's kind of, it does make them look stupid because it's like they're going to have to turn themselves, like pivot and say like, actually, joke's on you. Haha, I actually want to do that, lol, sort of thing. And it looked dumb.
When I said I didn't want to face you at WrestleMania, I meant WrestleMania night 2.
Yeah. Do you know what? That probably will happen.
If he says that at the press conference, I'm going to flip a table, Jeremy.
I'll just say it quickly and I'll let you and then Matty speak. The other potential option I was going to say when you were mentioning Ian, it becomes a 3-way. That's the other thing I'll throw out there. But please continue.
But then if it's a 3-way, how does that work in a storyline?
That's not my problem.
Especially after that promo. Because it's like Cody's gone to Rock. Hey, Rock. Hey, buddy. Do you want my spot? Yes, buddy. All right, fine. Oh, wait. And it's like no narrative development is going to make the 3-way go, oh, yeah, of course they were destined to be a 3-way dance. Wasn't that always the case? I mean, the ultimate decision Cody could make is go, you know what I want? Hey, Ilya, do you want to come over to Philadelphia? And let's do an NXT championship match. And I'll finish my story that way. The title from the brand that my dad created or helped to create with Triple H. It would be a really good match, though.
It would be freaking phenomenal, quite frankly. But Matty, you've been dormant for a while, as it were. You've been patiently waiting. I will now turn the question to you. Will it actually be Roman and Rock? What the heck do we think might happen?
Welcome, everybody, to the backtrack to WrestleMania, where all people go pedaling backwards. No, I don't want a triple threat. I don't want a triple threat.
I was wondering what you were saying no to, because there were a lot of questions in that, so I'm glad you clarified.
They're just no, Jeremy.
Just no.
Just no.
Just no,
Right.
Jeremy.
We've got a press conference on Thursday. This is where, like, the literal wrestling media out there are literally going to be laser focused on tomorrow, which I think is part of what they were hoping for. The only way they can really appease everyone, and everyone will know it's blowing smoke up their asses anyway. They know, but they don't. They love being idolized, right? The best way they said, yes, okay, hands up, cards on the table. This is what was going to happen. But because of you and you and you and all of you in the WWE universe, I hate that term, but all of you out there in the universe,
Even you.
Even me, Matty.
even you, Tony Khan, even you, we know you're your biggest supporter.
No, he's going to get on X and it's going to go wrong, Matty. Stop right now. Stop it now.
But Ian,
Anyway.
Ian, you know, AEW Collision is like the biggest piece of like television on a Saturday night. You know, it's not going to go at all wrong on WrestleMania. Right. Because of all of you out there in the WWE universe making yourselves heard like we know you can, we have decided that it will be on night 1 or night 2. We don't know. We haven't decided. We're literally just pivoting on out of this. Right. It will be The Rock versus Roman Reigns. Who will be the head of the table? And then on night 1 or 2, it will be Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns for the WWE Universal World Heavyweight Donkey Riding Championship. Or whatever. That's
a prestigious championship, I'll have you know.
Many have ridden donkeys. That is for certain.
Whilst playing chess and the occasional tiddlywinks. So it's so. This is what I bring to this. I'm so sorry. No, I'm not. That's the only way you're gonna appease everyone. There's still people going out there going, no, I don't like it. But it'll be the best way for everyone to just come out of this with some decorum of like respect here. It's just to say, we'll have both matches. It's that simple. And yes, it means paying Roman twice. I get that. They've literally just put his cousin on the board of directors. They've got the money. Okay? They've got the money.
What if they did both matches in one night, so they only have to pay Roman for one day?
God, Jeremy. They did that. They did that with Seth Rollins, with John Cena and Sting. And look what happened. Sting was nearly retired for about 8 years.
Look, we don't need to bring that up, all right? But
you brought it up first. I thought I'd let you know that has been done.
Order.
But to sort of add my 2 cents in it, because I've sort of just been in a way mediating and kind of flowing the conversation. But I think, first of all, agree with everything you have all said. Literally, it is insane. It's ridiculous. It does feel like a bit of a slap in the face for investing in the finish the story concept from last year. It just
done a
does,
year ago.
quite frankly. But in a weird way, the most interesting part of this entire thing now is what are WWE going to do? Because be it through contracts being signed, like with The Rock joining the board specifically is what I'm referring to, whatever all this allegedly and being reported is, it's now got to a point where a decision has to be made. And are they going to stick with that decision? They've changed it before when it comes to Daniel Bryan and inserting him into the main event and stuff, or seemingly changed, but you know what I mean. So it's happened before. WrestleMania main events have always been a little bit weird. WrestleMania 10, for example, when originally the Rumble winner was 2 people, which Michael Cole, I'm not going to let you live that down. You said it never happened before. When it was Bret Hart and Lex Luger, and there were 2 title matches at WrestleMania 10 in one night. It's possible they could do it. But let's be frank, assuming Roman and Rock as a singles match does happen, there is no way that thing is not closing WrestleMania. Or that will at least be the last advertised match on the show, hypothetically. Because another potential wild card in all of this is, what if Damian Priest decided WrestleMania was the night to do it?
No, he's cashing on the World Championship. That's my call. I think.
I will say
he's totally doing that at WrestleMania.
But but one thing we can all agree, and the reason I mentioned Damian Priest in that context, and I'm going to bring Gunther back into the discussion as well to help put value onto my point. Whoever ultimately dethrones Roman, it should be of benefit to someone to help carry things forward. When you look back at when CM Punk was champion for a year plus or whatever the number was in the end, I forget off the top of my head, ultimately, who dethroned him? It was The Rock. And what did that lead to? It led to Rock Cena version 2 in New York, as it were. Ultimately, it didn't actually do much in terms of bringing someone else forward. But whoever defeats Roman, it should be, to use a phrase that's said on many a podcast nowadays, it should be the thing that literally straps the rocket straight onto someone to send them into the stratosphere. And the logical person to do that with currently is Cody. It just is. Everyone is mega into him. He's already one of the biggest superstars. Literally, make him defeat Roman, that's him cemented for the next decade, pretty much. Yeah. Just instantly. It has so much clout to it. It's the same thing with Gunther. Whoever is ultimately going to be the person to dethrone him, it should be someone that gets elevated to a tremendous degree from having actually dethroned him for that title. Hypothetically, let's say Chad Gable gets one more shot, hypothetically. Because of the series of matches that he has already had and the whole dynamic of him losing in front of his family as well, that should be an incredible moment were it to be him. Just the stars are aligning to where whoever defeats both of those champions to become new champion, it needs to be looking to the future. And part of me wants to believe in WWE. Part of me wants to really, really believe that they're gonna, I'll say, make right by the fans. Because to use an AEW parallel now, which I appreciate is dangerous for some folks out there when that's mentioned the same sentence. And I think I said this on the podcast as well, Ian, when we were discussing last year, but there was the Bryan Danielson MJF Iron Man match at AEW Revolution last year, I want to say it was. And going in, I constantly had the mentality of, I have to watch a 60-minute match. That was the feeling I had going in. And after that, because I enjoyed it so damn much, I made a promise to myself of, you know what? I'm not going to go in with that kind of focus unless there is another genuine reason to do so. But on the whole, I'm not going to go in with that mentality on an AEW show again. I want to watch what's being presented to me. I will judge it at face value in the moment because it's one of my favorite matches ever, that Iron Man match. Just, it's so damn good. And that's why I want to believe, come WrestleMania weekend, there will be a suitable decision that by that point that is made as to how to rectify this. But if that doesn't happen, and quite frankly, it doesn't come off well either, whatever they decide to do, there's going to be a lot of negative feelings coming out of WrestleMania. And aside from, I'm trying to think the last time there would have been a massive negative feeling coming out of Mania.
34.
Which was the main event for that one?
Brock versus Roman. It's the one where they disband finishes for like 5 minutes and the crowd went, this is
fair
terrible.
Point. Yeah, so it's like they've got a chance here. There's still time. And obviously it's going to be very obvious if they suddenly go back in another direction like we've been talking about and that keyword of pivot that we've been saying on this podcast today. There's still time to fix it. And I want to believe because they got to a point where everyone really cared. And now everyone really cares for an entirely different reason.
I kind of, I'm always hopeful on things. And I do have a tiny bit of hope that this will turn around and it will be corrected in a way that Cody does win and then the story is finished. I do hope it does happen. It's just a case of how are they going to bring this around. It's a mess at the moment. It really is. And it's kind of like, right, okay, we have to really put this back in the right path because they've acknowledged it. They have acknowledged the fact that the audience have said stuff. Heck, it was even chanted on NXT Vengeance Day as well. And
was there? I didn't realize that.
Yeah, there was loads of chants as well when the Rock came on. Apparently, the crowd booed
because of because it was at a smaller venue as well. It was amplified because obviously everyone's all contained in there, so it reverberated way more. In fact, that's where the crowd actually got slapped down by the WWE. I believe they actually said, "Quit it."
No, that was for Mello.
Oh, that was for Mello.
Yeah, last night on NXT, they basically don't say "F you, Mello," because we'll be taken off air. Yeah, I know he's the evil heel things, which deserve that response, but not on a TVPG show. Thank you very much. Not on the USA Network.
Okay, I apologize, and I got cross wires on that one. But yeah, because it's a much smaller venue, like everything, if it's like raunchous enough, gets amplified.
Yeah. So I do have hope. It's just how they do it. I hope they do it a good. Pretty much.
I mean, at the moment, I don't want to have it as a downer side of things, but it's like this is WWE. Even back then, and maybe now, they are stubborn bastards.
Yep.
They might very well first say you're getting Rock and Roman, and you'll like it.
And we can't just say it's just a WWE thing as well, because we know the Tony Khan way of booking things in AEW as well. Oh shit, things are broken down. Yeah, let's just wait a few months and put everybody on the holding pattern until we get to the story I wanted to tell about 6 months ago.
Yeah. I do find it fascinating because I did bring it up on my stream last night and I actually wrote it down word for word what was said. WWE put it on their TikTok and I think on their YouTube shorts of what happened after Raw when Cody addressed the crowd. And he literally, after they were chanting "We Want Cody," he said, well, all I can say is this: since I was a little boy who grew up loving everything, for you to want me is special because I have always wanted you. And he said it like really emotionally to the point he was crying. It really like, oh God, it choked me up sort of thing. And it was just like,
I mean, part of it was emotional, but then the other half is like, is this just a very bad rom-com?
This is the thing.
It's like, I've always wanted you.
So
the universe to hug me.
So if you had like a lever between like one and oh my God, it's a Cody promo from AEW, how emotional was he?
Oh, he cries a lot in WWE promos. So I think I recall him. He gets emotional more in AEW. No, not more in WWE than he does in AEW.
Yeah.
Because he tries to be emotional. He tries to be emotional, and then the crowd just go, "Boo, heel." but I'm Cody. Boo, Cody, boo.
Oh, right, that last promo he did in the ring in AEW, where he was
reason I won't turn heel. The reason I won't turn heel is because I'm that too nice of a baby face. Despite the fact that you heel things, and Arn Anderson had a clock.
And here in America, guns are cool.
Oh no.
So I suppose from there, we can sort of have like what I'll term as sort of any other Cody-related business. There's no other easy way to kind of phrase that, as it were. So I will just simply turn it over to you folks, and me as well, I guess. But does anyone have any other point relating to this Cody thing? Situation, Rock thing, whatever that they would like to have conveyed on this here show? And I see a raised hand from Mr. Dekker Dane.
It's just basically just say something nice about Cody. Is that what it's going to be?
Just anything in general. Like, is there any other thing that's just not been mentioned in this conversation that you kind of had in the back of your head? Thing to consider, random thought or feeling, like just anything else in general that might just be worth sprinkling in a bit of the oh no magic.
I like his shirt with Pharaoh.
Yes, I was going to bring that up.
Pharaoh the dog.
He's got a lovely dog. There you go.
He needs to finish the story, Pharaoh. He needs to finish the story. And
can you imagine Pharaoh comes out and like some form?
Would you imagine that you get introduced to the booking committee, but Pharaoh's there? Because after all, we know he's going to be a general manager on the video game. So
Yes.
yeah. So it's only up from here.
It's like, which one of these wrestlers do you like, Pharaoh? Do you like Roman, indifference from the dog, or do you like Cody? Bark, 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 bark. Okay, Cody's your champion.
Can they please do a video where it's just they put paper on the ground in front of Pharaoh,
Oh,
and he's got to put his paw on who's going to win?
Reminds me of there's an Instagram account that occasionally pops up on my reels of basically this dog. He's got buttons and they all say different things, and most of the time he keeps hitting the one that says bitch. Like,
yes, I know the one you're on about.
It's like, which one should I go? Yo, bitch. That's what I want the Pharaoh general manager's office to be like. Just the buttons. And it's like, Cody wins.
So what you're saying
Finish the story.
So what you're saying is we're setting up a match for next year's WrestleMania against Pharaoh and Roman Reigns, because after all, not the biggest adversity a dog can have is you face him up against the big dog.
Yep.
Oh, you
Big
just
dog, big dog.
Or team up with Braun and
He got it.
Yeah.
team up with Braun or Corbin and be the War Dogs with Pharaoh.
Wait, are they called the War Dogs? Literally?
Yes. Well, that's what Braun wants to try and call them, and Corbin's going, "No, we're not."
I'm sure New Japan have the copyright on that for Bullet Club, but that aside.
Or the Wolf? No, the Wolf Dogs. Wolf Dogs.
There you go.
Wolf Dogs.
Yeah.
Wolf Dogs.
Oh, because Baron Corbin used to be a lone wolf,
Wolf.
and now he's gone out. There you go.
Yeah. I just hope that it doesn't ruin WrestleMania as such, because it has been such a good build-up of late. I just hope it's all good in the end, pretty much.
I'd say even if we don't get what we want, it still could be a very interesting watch.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone went in with extremely low expectations on WrestleMania 2015, and it surprisingly was a very good show. That's with Heist of Ascension and all that sort of stuff. So it's like we can go from very low expectations to this is nice.
Yes.
But especially when it's a clear open goal, and WWE have managed to score an own goal by complete idiocy.
It's a very Arsenal thing to do. Saying
Yeah.
that to Arsenal fans.
Yeah, I mean Reading win by own goals half the time this week, and that's.
But literally, speaking as an Arsenal fan here, it's a very Arsenal thing to do in football and soccer terms for our international listeners.
I just want to imagine just the WWE board just looking at the football and then looking at a goal. So basically the goal is Roman versus Rock, and the ball is Cody versus Reigns. And just going, should I kick the ball? They kick the ball anywhere else on the field, it's going to be Cody Roman. And they just go, it's an open goal. I should kick the ball into the goal. Yes, no, yes, no, yes, goal. I don't know where this is going, but football.
So I guess as we start to wind this down to a close, I will say something. Going back to the very beginning of the show now, to turn the discussion back to Scott D'Amore for a second, because this may play into some future discussions that come up. But there is some rumblings on the old interwebs doing the round that apparently a number of TNA talent was informed over a Zoom call about Scott D'Amore's departure, but it was relayed as him having stepped down, not having been fired.
Oh,
that doesn't
some
make
folks
sense.
Apparently may not like that, or have not liked that. Let's say
it doesn't
I'm
make a lick of sense. It
No.
really doesn't make a lick of sense, considering what he was like leading up to this month.
That's legit chalk and cheese, like fired and stepping down. Two different reasons.
Yeah.
Completely.
Yeah, apparently as well, the meeting did not give talent a chance to ask any questions, which did not endear some talent to the changes. The beginning of the call, when talent were informed about Scott D'Amore's departure before Anthem execs joined them, had some talent very angry.
Not surprised. They've only
Of
just
course.
started, and then suddenly, boom.
He built a lot of good feeling among the talent. Like talent, there are talent that are only there because of Scott D'Amore. I wouldn't
Yep.
see an Eric Young be in TNA if it wasn't for Scott D'Amore. You know? So it's weird. It's weird, it's dumb. And I hope if as far as pivots go, Anthem pivot this decision because it's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. And I hope that somebody goes, hey, you're unemployed right now. Want to come to work with us?
Yep.
Tony Khan's got a big announcement on Dynamite, which may have already leaked at the time we're talking.
Oh,
when doesn't he?
I swear.
Short version. The news going around is that they're going to run a big arena in Boston, which allegedly may be a debut of someone. That's the summation. I obviously don't know who, but that's the kind of 2 and 2 putting together potentially 52.
I think I have a feeling who.
I think that Tony Khan just needs to stop making big announcements. That's what I feel.
It's just a meme in itself now. It's just like, what? Yeah, like I said, what big announcement is he going to make this week?
Got a big announcement. He's got a new hat.
To be fair, you want to talk about memes? We'll end on a really positive note. Drew McIntyre's meme t-shirt.
Oh my god! Talk
thing.
about taking something and running with it. Oh my god, that's a great one.
Give this man the title now. I don't care.
Yeah,
Drew McIntyre and his whole shtick of just
killing it,
utterly rubbing salt in the torn tricep of CM Punk has been an utter joy to watch.
It's like
harsh, very, very harsh.
Yes,
but they're just going like, you know what? Go. Throw that ball as far as you can. It's only Super Bowl weekend. Throw that football as far as you blooming can. You know.
I do appreciate the fact that they actually recreated that meme instead of copy pasting. Like he literally, because I saw it, was like, no, I think they did do originally where his face was pasted on it, but they recreated it, and I'm just like, do you know what? Fair play. I know they've already done Yeet with Jay, but it's just like I know that was rewritten and now it's back again. I don't know.
You could say they had to pivot on the Yeet decision.
Your word of the day.
There you go. The one with a lot of pivoting. That should be named this episode. There we go. But folks, I think on that note, we're going to start to draw this to a close. I hope you've all enjoyed listening and or watching a lot. That wasn't good English, but there you go. Hope you've enjoyed the episode, quite frankly. Whether you are on the podcast provider of your choice or on YouTube, if you have enjoyed it, why not hit that subscribe button? We would really, really appreciate it. Before we go, though, chance for everyone to kind of plug their various goings on and such. So, Harriet, we shall start with you. Where can people find you if they want to reach out to you?
You can find me on Twitter at MangaGirl232. I stream at least once a week on my Twitch, which is Harriet_MangaGirl. And I have YouTube videos now and then. But if you follow me on Twitter, I usually post links and stuff so you can find all the stuff there.
And Matty, how about yourself?
You can mostly find me looking through texts with a magnifying glass and trying to work out why people in wrestling make the decisions they do. And it gives me a headache, quite frankly. It really does. I really should, just enjoy the show, but I just can't. Other than that, you can find me on X under MattyBoo Tweets. I will change that to MattyBoo Tweets on X at some point. But you can also find me on Twitch under MattyBoo Twitches. I'm there semi-regularly. I do a show called Matty Vision where I look at old British TV shows and the occasional Japanese set of ads and go, my word, Japanese adverts make me hungry. Very, very hungry. And one day, me and Harriet will watch Holic together because, oh my God, was that exciting. That's pretty much it. That's really all I can say for now.
And Ian, how about yourself? And also I'll throw into the frame as well. If people want to reach out to us directly, as in the podcast itself, what's the way that people can do that as well? But first of all, where can people find yourself?
You can find me on Twitter at Dekker Dane and on Twitch with the channel The Dekker Dane. I stream Mondays, 8 p.m. UK time of watch long. I'm trying to do a few extra streams during the week, just trying to get back into the regular sort of rhythm of things, considering I've been out of the country for a couple of weeks and all that sort of stuff. But yes, that's where That's where you can find me. If you would like to send an email over to BunkaMania, well, you can do a big old-fashioned Cody cutter and a big old woe to contact at bunkamania.com. Great to hear your thoughts. Well, Matty didn't even do it. Let's all do it together at the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Wow. Where's the pipe?
Whoa. Well, I will now say, if you want to find me elsewhere, folks, you can... Easy way is probably just to find my link tree. It's linktree/Giraffemy. That's JERAFFEMY. Imagine I'm as tall as a giraffe, and it's Jeremy, and that's my name combined. That's how it works. I stream on Twitch every Friday evening, 7 p.m. UK time, playing some sort of games, as it were, and bits and bobs like that. And of course, you can find links to other YouTube channels I'm involved with on that as well, including anime unboxings, if that is your thing. With that being said, folks, once again, thank you so much for listening and or watching. And until next time, keep on enjoying wrestling. And let's see what the heck is going to happen next in all this Cody stuff. Until then, whoa!
It's all just smoke and mirrors.
I was not prepared for that.
It's the Rock entrance. Can you smell what the Rock is doing?